that dude I love.
Hey,
Perfect.
good timing. I was just getting a note card so I could kind of keep like notes if we want to make any edits
or even keep score.
Yeah, we can keep score. We can remember things for later.
Yeah,
it's pretty invaluable. Turns out,
kind of see who's like first place in the podcast today.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to start timing this so we can have like a time code, even though it'll be a few seconds
clear
late.
Your throat and fix your voice.
How's that?
Sexy, good. Wow, back to the sexy Joe.
All right, I just started the stopwatch, so now we have a time code that's a little off.
I have a pen and I have paper, but I probably won't write much.
We're official podcasters now.
We also have the same microphone again, which is nice.
Yeah, I actually listened to myself on the podcast
because you had to edit it.
And yeah, and this microphone makes a big difference. I don't mind it.
I know, it sounds sexy. Sexy. That one's for Christopher. Sexy.
Yeah, wherever he is. I spent time with him this weekend.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
You get around.
I do get around, yeah.
You make an effort.
Someone's got to do it.
Yeah, I guess I would like to see everybody more. I feel, even though Williamsburg's pretty close, I do feel like I'm farther away.
It's pretty far. It's definitely like, I thought I'd be really close to you, and I'm not that close to you.
You did?
Yeah.
How close did you think we'd be?
I don't know, that much closer than Staten Island. But, 25 minutes in Brooklyn, it's kind of a long time.
And you have parking.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. You got a Zob going?
No, I got a Virgin
espresso.
Yeah.
Let me think. There's a couple things I wanted to discuss, but now my head is empty.
How was your weekend? Kind of rough?
Oh my God, good. No, what do you mean rough?
Didn't your grandmother just die?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, she did.
I'm sorry to bring it up that way, but
no, I'm embarrassed now that I said it like that. Yes. So my grandmother passed away last Wednesday. This is my grandma on my mom's side. Her name was Helen Neville Kelly. Helen Kelly, very close to.
And it was yeah, very close. And now she's with
a letter away. Now she's what?
She's with her. You think Helen Keller gets to see and sort of hear in heaven, or is it like too much?
I don't fully believe in heaven. I think that if there was, it would be more so like your soul. So not like, you know what I mean? Because people like to think like it's your physical form.
That would be very boring to be trapped in your physical form for eternity. It's like very limited.
And then you also like what age, and you know what I mean? Like what, I think maybe like, if anything, it would be like your quote unquote soul or spirit that goes to this place with other souls and spirits. And you just judge each other on like, I guess, instead of physical presence, like, you know what I mean? Like how ghosty you look. Oh man, you have so many, trails of light that follow you. That's hot.
Do you think, and then people judge it?
And they're like, oh, have you seen Cheryl? She has like no floods of light.
She's got barely any light trail.
Yeah, light trail.
And not to make light of it, but it sounds like she was on a bit of a decline, so that it's kind of a relief that she didn't have to suffer too long, right?
Yeah. So she had like the last couple of weeks had been really bad, and dementia was sort of setting in, and she was like, certain on good days, she would be remembering who my mom was, who was there over every single day because they lived next door to each other. And on bad days, she wouldn't know who my mom was, but she was what's interesting is that she was always nice. Like if she didn't know who my mom was, she was always like, I just want to thank you so much for doing this. Aww. And like would say to my grandfather, who she also thought was a man living with her, not necessarily her husband, because her husband had left her for another woman.
Right. Which is not true.
Not true.
She must be confusing it with, as the world turns or something.
I think she's confusing it with my other grandma, whose husband like left her for another woman.
Oh, wow. And
has since perished. But my grandma, who's 104, is still alive. This was my young grandma, 91.
It's a big age difference too.
But so basically like, the last couple years, like, but she's had pretty good years, and she's, always been surrounded by family. It was like a lot of nice stuff happening in her life. So I feel like it was. you know,
I'll
it
have
was
to
her
say
time.
this is one of those situations where you know, it's almost like a relief of suffering, which was kind of nice. It's kind of a nice one in a
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Um,
It was a
and I
nice
just
one, Joe. It was a real nice one.
Yeah, real good one. Well, I just want to say I do have a bone to pick because I wasn't allowed to come to the wake, so
Uh-huh.
I'm pretty upset about that.
Why you? Oh, yeah, go on.
No, I wish I could have come and expressed my condolences. You told me not to come.
Nobody came.
Nobody came.
I mean, it was basically, all right, this is how it worked. My mom was going to do a full-fledged like wake and funeral with like invite them all and
Mhm.
be inside like a room with during a pandemic. And I was like, Mom, you have to consider COVID stuff. Like there needs to be it needs to be
There's a lot of
limited.
hugging at wakes. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, you got to stay back from people and not hug, and then also the more you limit it the better.
Well, how
And
did she feel about the whole thing?
I think she was just
She
like
said,
in the
"Fine, just don't invite Joe Bergio, but everyone else can
yeah.
come." Okay.
Well,
Machini.
she said in Bashini, yeah.
Yeah.
No, so I just had to remind her of that. And then she was like, oh, you're right. I think it was just like, she was so caught up in the process that she wasn't
Sure.
thinking about it.
Yeah,
And
it's her
our good
brother.
friend, Ryan McGinley, was like helping with all the services and he was
Aw.
great. It was so helpful. And he was like, yeah, anything you want to do, we'll do. Like, so they're going to limit it. We'll do a Zoom funeral where like there's a you know, family there and like some very close friends. And
So
then
I wasn't invited to that either. Got it.
yeah, but you could have watched it on Zoom,
Uh-huh.
but you didn't even ask. So
You didn't tell me. How am I?
you
I
should
didn't
have
know.
assumed it was on Zoom.
You just
That's their
didn't want me
thing.
to.
Assume the funeral's on Zoom. That's their catchphrase.
I had a theory that you just didn't want me to meet Scarlett again and like do
I've
something
been
funny
pushing it.
at the wake.
You fall asleep at the wake.
Yeah, in the
Pass
basement
out.
of the wake.
No, but some people came, like, you know, like friends of my family came. It was also like, it was good. It was enough people there that it wasn't like, oh man, no one came to see grandma. But we also really limited it, and we also had my grandpa there from like 3 to 3:30 and then got him out because we didn't want him around a lot of people and he didn't really want to be around people because of COVID stuff. You know, it's a family full of like germaphobes,
I know,
except for my mom, who's a
That's funny.
doctor.
Who knows what she's doing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to express my condolences. I haven't had a chance to say it to your mom, but because I don't have her number, I just have your dad's number, and you know, being
That
in
feels
text
weird,
enough.
right? It's not even his mom.
Yeah. But next
Yeah,
time
my
I see
dad
her-
was sad. Like it was interesting because my dad he gets sad by seeing other people sad. It's
Mhm.
not, you know what I mean? He's sad, but he's only really like cries like if he sees another person.
No, there's something. Emotion is contagious. I think that's why
Emotion is
laughter is contagious too. You know,
Oh yeah, you're right.
pandemic of emotion.
I gave the old eulogy.
Oh yeah, wow.
Joe
You didn't even ask
Ambrosio.
me or anything. Well, how'd it go?
It went well. It went really well.
Yeah.
There's
It's an important thing. It's
a
an
lot of
important
people.
thing to do.
It was weird because, you know, my mom was like, if the two of you want to speak, it'd be great, to me and my brother. And he did such an amazing job. And so I went first and then he went. And then people can't help but like compare us.
Someone
In a way.
compared you guys?
Yeah, like all the time people are like, even as a joke, especially like since I'm sort of the underdog, they say it to me in this way that I want to hear it.
Almost like, oh, that was actually pretty good, Casey, like that.
No. I mean, there's two sides of it. There's one side which is like people being like, you know, saying things like, you should be the one in SNL, you know what I mean? Or something like that, which
Right.
is just like frustrating and annoying. But so there was, I think
that was another reason you didn't want me to come. I might accidentally impress Lauren Michaels too much.
well, I just thought you might just get up there and eulogize my grandma better than I could.
Okay.
You're
Honestly,
a threat.
I feel better about this whole thing now.
But the other thing that people do, like, all right, so like my Uncle Peter goes, when Colin was going up there, I felt bad for him to follow you, you know? And you're like, oh my God, like it's a fucking funeral. Like,
I know.
Jesus,
To follow you.
get your shit together. And also our styles and everything was very different, much like our lives. So it was like,
Yeah, you're more like a prop eulogy guy.
I did prop stuff. I did impressions.
Mm-hmm. Knock knocks.
I basically, I mean, I slayed, but it's different.
Yeah,
Did songs.
Right. I bet you did.
It was nice. The whole process was great. It was like a lot of grieving and
It's cathartic, man. Yeah.
yeah, it is. It really is.
The ritual exists for a reason.
Nice thing people were saying was like family members that didn't have her as a grandma, but like people who are like, you know, maybe my grandfather's sister's kids or something like that, you know?
Mhm.
They were like, I really identified, like the way you broke it down was like, it made me feel like I had her as a grandma and like give me a glimpse into what that was like. And it
That's
was really
sweet.
beautiful. So, and I think and I think what Colin did so well is like kind of talk about like what our grandma would want from people like going forward, which was really nice. It was just, like I said, like it was just really well rounded. It was nice. It was a nice
That's
1-2
good.
punch. Everybody was tearing it up. So we won.
Did you cry giving it?
Oh yeah.
It's rough,
I
right?
had that voice.
Yeah, I know. I know. It's so hard, man.
Really hard. I mean,
Yeah.
there's moments like where I talked about like, this is tough, but like how she used to like light up whenever I'd come visit or when we'd
Yeah.
speak, her face would just light up. And I talked
Yeah.
about that and it was like, it was hard.
I know, man.
I wrote it. I mean, I had been writing it like throughout the week or like a couple days before. And then the night before I was really like adding to it. And I was like in bed, like Lisa was asleep, just like crying,
Oh, yeah.
like my pillow's soaked. Like but I actually think if you're really sad, you should eulogize because it really is cathartic.
It is, man. It certainly is. Not everyone, can do it. It's
The priest
scary
was
thing.
weird. The priest kept being like, he kept telling me that I did a good job in a way that he was just like,
Touching your leg.
people's two biggest fears are death and public speaking. And you did them both. Or I was like, what?
What the fuck?
I didn't die. He
Wow.
was, yeah, I'd never seen him before. It was like, he also talked like a guy posing as a priest. He was like, and glory be to God. Amen. And the son, Jesus in the highest, and keep Jesus in your heart
Right.
for all those who pray. Like he kept tagging it, like adding on things. And I'm like, that's what? And then he'd be like, all right, let's do the Our Father. And then everyone
calling it audible.
Yeah, everyone did it. And I was like, this guy is really just like flying by the seat of his
Frock? A frock? It's crazy too because when you cry while you're speaking, then people know that you're gay. Isn't that the weird feeling that like, oh my God, I'm crying while I'm talking? This is so gay of me. Like, what's wrong? Why does that thought cross people's minds?
No, I just think it's not that, Joe. What the fuck? I feel like this is a podcast from 1992.
I'm not saying it's true. I'm just like,
No, I know. I think men often feel that it's like it's emasculine to cry.
emasculating. Yeah.
Yeah. Is
Unmasculine.
emasculine?
Unmasculine, maybe, but to be emasculating is to, yeah.
I think maybe they feel like it's not manly to cry.
Right.
That's probably the thing. You know what I mean?
Which kind of, in a weird way, makes it the most manly thing you can do, right?
Yeah, be a man, cry.
Yeah.
I think so. I think it's just old school bullshit. Like, like there's still probably guys out there that are just like, you drinking too much soy? You crying?
That's so funny to equate it with soy. That means they're sort of like caught up to date with like how estrogen works, but not
Right.
really at all.
Yeah. Too much soy, boy. This is what I was dealing with as I was speaking.
Right there, you got heckled. That sucks. This is Staten Island funeral, so
Yeah.
a lot of firefighters there.
No, but there was bagpipes at the
Oh wow, that's
at
nice.
the burial,
That's nice.
which is, I mean,
That'll
talk
do it.
about things that can make you cry.
That's
Oh,
that
Amazing
instrument-
Grace.
all that
Amazing Grace on a
instrument does-
bagpipe.
Yeah, man. It's just crying. That's all the instrument does. Yeah, that's it. It's the crying instrument.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise this weekend was great.
Other than that,
Went to Great Adventure this next day. No.
yeah. Well, I'm sorry, man.
Also, my mom, speaking of like COVID concerns, was like, my mom wanted my cousin Kelly to fly here and stay with them for like 4 days or something. And I was like, you can't, like, and my aunt was driving. So I was like, make her go with her mom.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. So she,
I mean, think about what happens when you're in that situation. You know, you're not going to be thinking about it clearly.
I know. I just think like there needs to be someone to be like my cousin or my aunt should have been
step
like,
in for it.
that seems like a bad idea, especially Ohio's not like doing the best.
Yeah, but New York's doing great. Feeling
Hell
pretty
yeah. That's why I want to bring these people here on planes.
I know. Keep them out. Build a wall.
Oh, here's another thing I wanted to discuss. This is really important. So we brought it up recently, and I want to know because you said like so we were talking about how when sometimes people write things like on the internet, it's like they'll be mean, and
Like
they'll just
unintentionally mean. What do you?
or just like they'll write the weirdest things like
Oh, to you. They'll
to
type
you,
in,
yeah, or to anybody, but yeah, but to me is what I'm getting at because and I said that somebody had written about this little part of hair I have
Yeah, that's right.
here. And you were like, yeah, that's weird. And I was like, wait a second. And I was like, is this my Joe Ambrosio eyebrow in a good way or in a bad way?
Well, I don't think it's quite the same. Did you shave it, by the way? It looks less than usual. Did you
No, I
trim
think
it?
it's just a lighting thing.
Okay.
It's lighting.
I don't know. I
So
mean, I don't think anyone really calls you out on that or notices it.
somebody had wrote something about like Casey's like neck beard or something like that, or neck
It's a
goatee.
funny thing to notice. It's very funny that they noticed it and called it out.
Right. I mean, it's people on the internet. Like someone's going to notice something, you know?
Yeah.
I bet you there are some people who haven't even noticed your eyebrow. That's what the internet is. It's like you'll get the range of people.
A lot of people think it's a scar or like someone thought there was
yeah,
like
yeah.
a crusty thing hanging off my eye.
Hanging on.
Like I just didn't notice it and I'm on TV.
That's really fun.
Yeah.
So my question is this, and to anybody else, like, so I think I used to shave it like
Really?
a decade ago. Like when I used to, before I would ever like grow a beard or anything, I used to shave and I'd shave to here. And Lisa thought it was weird. So Lisa was like, don't shave that. Like leave, you know what I mean? Like it's part of like your chest hair and I like it. So leave it. So I was like, okay, if my wife likes it, what's the big deal? But then when I wear a t-shirt, it pops out a little bit. And I've always been a little self-conscious about it. So now I'm like putting it to you. What do I do? What would you do?
That's funny. I guess you just start wearing V-necks. I don't know.
No. Oh, to show more.
Yeah. Give it context.
Right. I think that's the issue here. It either needs more or I
less
shave
content.
or
Either
I shave.
turtlenecks or V-necks, I think.
Right. Either
Crew neck
turts
is
or,
behind you.
turts or V's.
Yeah. I don't
Crew
know.
neck. Like the crew neck really took over, huh?
You could always dye it skin colored.
That's like what your mom would tell you to do.
Yeah. Well, I dyed it brown.
Right. But
black,
that's,
I guess.
That kind of solution is what your
Yeah. Just dye it.
I guess I mean there's times that I've also trimmed it too to make it a little shorter, less
It's
like
it's
see.
the kind of person that notices that and think that that's weird is like it's a weird detail to be caught up on, I think. Because
Yeah,
I don't
think so.
I don't think it's that weird. I think it's definitely like a unique feature as far as like your body goes, but it's not a big deal.
I always thought that it would be fine as soon as it like turns gray.
Mhm.
I was like, yeah, once it's gray, it doesn't matter because
I don't
it'll be
know.
less likely to see. And the
Has-
thing also is like my skin is so white that like dark hair will just like you could see it from far away.
Right.
The most self-conscious things I am on of my body are my entire body,
Uh-huh.
and then no, it's this
The
thing
one.
hair here. My lower back has hair that like it looks like a lower back tattoo.
Oh yeah. That's funny.
Especially when it's dry, it's just there's a good amount right in the section of like my lower back, and I'm very self-conscious about it. I hate the way it looks.
I find there's degrees of body hair on men, and I find it to be pretty masculine, like men hair. But sometimes it's really thick and really curly or something, and like really like almost like a rug.
Yeah.
And I feel like that would be rough to have to do with.
I think you're right about the in context thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would almost want like
Just don't wear
more
shirts.
hair. I would want even more hair, like to make it all work, or obviously or less.
You can get like a necklace that like perfectly hangs there.
Well, I'm talking about my back.
Oh, you're talking about
Is
the
that what you mean? Put them in necklace.
That'd be funny too.
Well, no one really sees that.
You can get like like a belly like bracelet. What do they call those things?
A belly ring,
Well, no,
like the
it's
one that goes around.
it's like a gold chain that goes around your belly. What do you call that, Allie? It's like a gold chain. that
Belly
you wear-
rope,
You wear
Gold-
around your belly.
gold rope.
Like Danny Pantaleo wears one.
Yeah,
What is it?
I think it's just to bring accents.
Wait,
Is
who
that a
wears
name?
one? Oh,
Belly
Yeah.
you don't mean the other Danny Pantaleo. You mean AJ's wife?
Oh yeah, no, I don't mean the guy, the Eric Garner guy. No.
I forget sometimes that her name is Danny Pantaleo.
Yeah. Whoops.
DANI.
I think DNY, but that's not.
Wait, that's what it is?
I think, but I mean that's not even her name. That's just a nickname. Maybe
Oh,
you're
it's
right.
Danielle.
Actually, I don't know. Yeah,
Her name's Danielle, right?
Now our listeners know her entire full name, so that's good.
Wait, is that bad?
iteration of it. I don't know.
They could know names of people
That's
we
true.
know.
That's true.
Famous drummers' wives.
That's true.
Nurse.
Yeah.
Her address is.
All around great person. Good couple. Power couple.
Let me think if there's anything else. So I talked about my hair dysmorphia.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I got a new thing in the office, a cabinet. Just arrived right before this podcast. I'm pretty jazzed about it.
Did you put it together yet?
I mean, it came assembled,
Mm-hmm.
but I had to make a little bit of room. But
What's it going to be for?
Odds and ends. I never had one of these cabinet. It would always be sort of like in weird places. Like I don't know if you do this. Like let's say instrument cables or things. Like I'll put them into other things.
Yeah.
Like into like a
Pockets
bag.
and pouches and
Yeah. Like a little pouch.
I got a bag full of cables in a basket.
Right? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Why do we do this? I guess it's just going to go into this big cabinet, this tin now, but it's at least like organized.
It's just easier to have less places to squirrel things away. So I know that this basket's full of junk, but I know that if I need something, it's probably just somewhere in this basket, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I did mushrooms this weekend.
Oh, yeah. How'd that go? And how'd that come up?
I guess we were at Joe's place, Joe Pecora's place. I mean, I don't know if this matters names, but it doesn't matter. So we were
going to lose his job as a recording engineer, like owning a music studio.
So
who's going to be like, no, you do drugs?
He was like, I think this would be a good combo of people. And it was me, Chris, Justin, Joe. And we had a great time. We just went up there. We rented this place. It was a caboose.
Yeah.
I showed you pictures of it.
I don't remember the pictures.
It's like the guy owns this like bunch of acres of land. It's like about 3 hours away, and it's this caboose house that we rented on his house. Yeah, he built a caboose. It's not a real caboose, but it looks like one, and you can sleep in it and stuff. And you can have a campfire outside.
I love that shit.
It was just the perfect weekend getaway. It really was great.
You know what we should do, Joe? We should buy an RV together, and then
I think that's
do
possible.
a timeshare. Do it like make it like a timeshare.
Well, like an Airbnb,
but for us.
Oh yeah.
I guess we could also. We should go into business. That's the one thing we haven't done yet.
That's true. We definitely get along in every other sense. We should go into business together.
Right.
What could possibly go wrong?
And then we run that business.
Yeah.
And I do all the editing.
I know. I would probably do. I think I would have more of a hand in it if I was running a business with you.
Yeah.
I was wearing Jody Sellers apparel throughout the whole mushroom trip. I had a Jody Sellers hat.
Were you like seeing Jody?
I was thinking of Jody.
Were you like?
I knew that if anything were to happen to me, like at all on this trip, that's the thing. You have to go into there with like a clean state of mind, feel good about your place in the world and like how things are going. And I knew that if anything went wrong, all I had to do was pick up my phone and dial 770-415-9848.
I bet you like, and
770.
I haven't done a lot of mushrooms, but I bet you it's nice to have that security blanket. Like you literally have a shirt on from a man who sponsors you.
Yeah.
With the number that if you're ever in trouble, and he's a lawyer and he's a good guy, he'd drive up from Griffin, Georgia to help you if you needed.
I know.
Where he
was flying to New Zealand for me.
Jody in our life is so great. So I got to say this too. So we now have a Telegram, which is a different app than a Marco Polo.
So far, I think it's been going well because a lot of people,
a
lot of people were afraid to, I'm guessing, to participate in video only. And this allows both options. It's video and text. So it's a real direct link to us. And I'll answer more quickly in a text usually because it's just easier.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I mean, I still do videos here and there, but like it's nice because sometimes like if Lisa's asleep or we're chilling and it's just not the right vibe to like record a video, it's nice that I can have the option of just texting something or responding to a text. It's just a better experience. I got to see though. Did we move everybody over from the Marco Polo? Is anybody not there yet?
I don't know. I wasn't keeping track, but the last thing in the Marco Polo is like kind of a gone fishing sign that says like, if you want to catch up with us, we're here now. And
Yeah, it's really great.
if you were on the fence about joining it, I think now's the time. If you were nervous about sending videos only, this is a great way to talk to Emily Gags, for instance.
Yes. We had a great discussion about, Emily brought it up about last meal. Was it Emily or was
Yeah.
it Hope? Yeah. Emily. And I actually don't remember, but it was last meal. It was Emily, right?
Yeah, it was if you knew the world was ending tomorrow, what would your
But
last meal
Hope had a
be?
good question too, right?
She asked, what makes a brunch a brunch?
Right. Both great questions. This is the kind of stuff that you could
And if
deal with.
You can ask us for our wisdom and advice.
Our sage wisdom.
Just
What makes
email-
wisdom? What makes wisdom sage? Do you think it's the person, or is it actually the?
I think sage wisdom is probably a redundancy. Like an ATM machine.
No, I don't
Sage
think so.
advice is like wise advice, but sage wisdom. I
But
think
yeah,
is
but not
redundant.
all advice. I mean, it's an adjective. Advice in that sentence is not an adjective; it's a noun.
I don't know.
Is it a noun? Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Wisdom's a noun too.
Here's another question. How are you with like if something's ironic or not?
Oh, I think the modern usage of the word has kind of been a little loosey goosey. I try to avoid using it because it's probably going to be wrong.
Well, the thing I thought the other day was how hot sauce goes in a fridge, right?
To cool it down.
And it's cold, and it actually can cool down your food in temperature while also making it hot in flavor.
But I think only really like fresh hot sauce you need to put in the fridge.
Well, that's not the point, Joe. My question is if it's ironic that hot sauce could make your food cold.
Oh, you didn't ask the question.
I know that, but I thought I was just talking it out with you, and then
This
you were
business
just like,
is never going to work
not
out.
all hot sauces need to go into the fridge because just like eggs and cheese, tomatoes lose their flavor if they're cooled down.
Oh man,
That's
I
true.
can't believe I sound like that.
It's like a vocal
embarrassing.
mirror.
Yeah. Okay, so you're saying is that ironic?
Yeah.
I
Is
don't
it
think so.
paradoxical? Is it?
It's just kind of funny. I think.
That's what I don't know what irony is.
There's
Like
dramatic irony. There's literal irony, and then there's third irony.
I just want to know what. All right, I could look it up. What's a true ironic sentence?
Mm-hmm. While you're looking it up, we can go over the poll results from last week. It turns out a lot of people agree with me that Beyonce doesn't need our support. She's doing fine. Did you know that?
Oh, really?
Yeah. You get left in the dust, buddy.
I did.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. The people have spoken.
Okay, so all right, this is a whole article on it like ironic is overused. So
Yeah.
people say things like, this is wrong, obviously. This is the third time today we've run into each other. How ironic.
Right. It's just kind of a coincidence.
Yeah. It's also mistakenly used sometimes as yesterday was a beautiful warm day in November. It was really ironic.
That's dumb.
Yeah. Ironically, it was the best movie I've seen all year. Wow, that's really bad. Yeah. Irony versus sarcasm. Irony is often confused with sarcasm. While the two are similar in sarcasm, there is a stronger intent to ridicule or mock. Okay.
So far, this is the common theme every time. Everyone likes to tell you what irony isn't, but no one likes to tell you what irony is.
Yes, I agree. And that's probably ironic.
80% of people think that Beyonce doesn't need our support.
Mm.
And 62% of people think that they do like to have a conversation piece in the house. Do you remember that one?
No, what is that one?
You were like, no one wants a
Uh-oh.
conversation piece. And I said,
Yeah.
"Hey, that's nice."
I think you made these questions leading, or people want to say yes.
No, I asked you. I asked you specifically how to word them.
Fine. You win. This is ironic.
Win this round. Even though the funny thing is that I'm less interested in being on the right side of things. I guess it's kind of ironic.
I'm still trying to find. It's hard to find.
Irony. Like Shakespeare uses irony a lot.
Yeah. A fire station burns down is situational irony.
Okay. because it's the one place that should be prepared to handle the fire.
A marriage counselor files for divorce. The police station gets robbed.
So these are situational ironies.
Yes. A pilot has a fear of heights.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I don't see dramatic.
Dramatic.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Ready?
Macbeth.
Dramatic irony. A woman thinks her boyfriend is acting strangely because he's about to propose, but the audience knows that he is planning to run away with another woman. Okay, that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
That seems fun. In a scary movie, the character goes into a house they think is empty, but the audience knows the killer is in the house. What?
Yeah, it's like you want to. If the audience has
Yeah,
more
I guess.
information than the character, you want to yell at the character like, "Don't go in there!" You know.
Right.
That's irony. That's dramatic irony.
So you always need an audience?
For dramatic irony, I think the idea is that it's being used
Yeah. Okay, that's
in
fun.
the telling of a story.
I
What's
fucks
the
with
third
that.
irony? What's the third? Is there a third irony?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Irony in history?
Types of ironies.
There's irony in history. You want to do that one? That one sounds fun.
Okay, let's do that one. Verbal, dramatic, and situational. So the verbal one is the other one. This is a lesson for our listeners.
Wait, what is the lesson? Verbal?
Verbal is a statement in which the meaning that a speaker employs is sharply different from the meaning that is ostensibly expressed. So, for example,
Give me an example.
This is Wikipedia, so it's being very like fucking verbose right now.
Oh, interesting.
As pleasant as a root canal. So it's like as soft as concrete, as clear as mud. Those are verbal.
But doesn't that seem like an oxymoron?
No, an oxymoron is jumbo shrimp.
Right. But isn't that the same idea?
I guess it's a similar idea. Two
Opposites?
juxtaposing, contrasting things.
All right, here's another example of history in irony, which is actually, I think this is really fun. In 1925, the New York Times declared that crossword puzzles weren't going to catch on and that people would get bored of doing them on a weekly basis.
Why would they even bother to declare that?
I know, in 1925.
What kind of hot take is that to have in 1925?
There was no
nothing else to
news.
talk about.
What else was there? It was between wars, I think. Today, the New York Times is regarded as the gold standard for crossword puzzles and publishes a new one every day.
That's so
In your
stupid
face.
and funny.
Uh-huh.
These newfangled crossword games. It's like Nintendo being shit upon.
This is another one. Discovery of gunpowder. They thought that it was an elixir of immortality, which is ironic because it's led to more deaths than any other substance.
When it was created, they thought you could drink gunpowder.
Uh-huh.
I guess it was called black powder back then.
Let's see. Huh.
This is good.
That one's weird.
A little dead air. I like it.
Everyone likes a little dead air.
Little dead
It gives
air.
them a
Gives
little
you-
time to
Give
think.
you a chance to interject a little bit to decide if you want to join the Telegram. And experience this sort of thing on a 24/7 basis.
Yeah, and
Just our delayed responses.
okay, that was fun. That was a little lesson you got.
Okay, lesson learned.
Can you imagine going to school right now?
It'd be weird. It would be boring because all you could do is learn. You can't socialize. Like
Yeah.
75% of school is socializing.
I know. Back when we were growing up, it was all like kissing each other and stuff,
Yeah, it was all you could do really.
sharing mucuses and breath.
Why even bother going to school? Just stay home and homeschool.
So I have an aunt, a second aunt once removed.
Family
maybe?
friend, yeah.
No, she's family. She's blood, but this funny thing happened where she said to Lisa, she goes, I'm going to tell Casey this, but I just wanted you to know that if you have kids or when you have kids, which is leading, when you have kids, you're going to see grandma's eyes in the baby.
Wow.
And she was just like, okay. And then Lisa said, well, you're going to get to see that soon because Lisa assumed her daughter was pregnant. Her daughter's already had the kid. So what basically Lisa said to her is that I am already pregnant.
Wow. It's funny.
Ironic,
It's like that thing. Yeah, I think keeps coming up. People keep accidentally thinking you guys are having kids.
I know. I told her
It's
we
like
have
the
to.
third time.
You should start doing shots at
I
that
know.
everywhere we go.
Yeah, just to drive it home.
I know. So she was like, oh my gosh, that's great.
So funny.
So she like went crazy. So now she's going to be like, probably be like, if we don't have kids, she's going to be like, they lost the baby.
Oh man, that's funny.
It's
You guys have
crazy.
to have a kid now just to prove a point or something.
Everybody wants us to have a kid.
Yeah, because it would be a good looking kid. It'd be fun. You know, you extend the family a little bit.
It's going to have such weird hair everywhere.
And that chest hair, yeah.
Granny's hairy.
It's gonna look like a little Cupid baby with like a little thing of chest hair on. You know what I mean?
No,
I feel like
doesn't it have the head?
yeah, but that'll be on his chest.
Oh, cute. Oh, but no, it's on his neck.
I was looking up that guy from because that for some reason that reminds me of John Kay, the guy that created Ren and Stimpy.
Mm-hmm.
There's a really weird video of him on YouTube from like the special features of some DVD with a younger woman who he keeps calling like the sexiest girl or something, like she's in charge of sexy girl drawings on the cartoons and stuff. And it's just very clear that he was like grooming her, and he mentions going to her 15th birthday party. It's really weird stuff, man.
Grooming's weird.
Yeah, but you know, Ren and Stimpy, I still love it. It's the fucking crazy thing.
Wait, that's the creator?
Yeah, and the chief, you know, he created the characters, he drew them. He got like kicked out after one season for being so creepy.
It's tough because I really loved Ren and Stimpy, but I don't really have the urge to rewatch it. Do you?
I was trying to find it last night. I want to watch that episode where they.
It's on HBO Max.
Really?
Isn't it? I thought I saw that somewhere.
I want to watch the one where he gets his teeth pulled and you see the little nerve endings wiggling around.
Yeah.
For some reason, I want to see that again.
They don't. Are they wiggling? Because I remember that's like that thing they do where they have like an artist like really paint it beautifully, but like graphically.
Yes.
And
But
so
like
it's a still, right?
No, but they're almost like little like, snakes that move.
Yeah, it's fun.
And it's like a violin being dragged. It's really gnarly.
They're pretty. That's a pretty like post. That's like a post cartoon. You know what I mean? Post animation.
It was certainly a unique style, man. It was very eye catching.
Yeah, I definitely loved it as a kid. I'm surprised. My parents would always be like, "You can't watch this," but then would never like make us turn it off. Same with MTV. My parents would be like, "You can't watch MTV," and then like they would walk in and we'd be watching it, and they wouldn't say anything.
All my childhood traumas are things that I like now. You know, like watching scary movies and stuff. Way too young is like now I love that stuff. I don't know what it is.
That's like hot sauce. Like it's the thing that
it's cold sometimes. Yeah,
your body like wants that feeling,
right?
You know, because it's like it's endorphins go and what's the other thing? Your like response.
Endorphins,
adrenaline goes because you're like your body's like I don't know what to do, so you get addicted to it in a good way.
The mushrooms were kind of like that. It was like we took it in tea form, which I didn't realize how vastly different this was. I guess I did a pretty significant amount, and in tea it kind of like kicks in faster and harder. And there was this beautiful land around that we just wandered into. We were just like lost in the woods. Oh man, it was great. Like everything looked like alien life forms, you know? And like at one point I pointed at this tree and I was like, I hate to break it to you guys, but this tree's talking to me right now. It was like that kind of stuff was going on.
Was it true?
Yeah. It was vibrating at me, you know? And there was this one tree with like an old man's face in it. It was just like a kindly old tree, you know?
Wow.
It was like all that, everything became alive, you know? It felt like there were gnomes everywhere in a good way. I couldn't believe it. It was just like being a kid again. Like everything was your imagination. And
yeah, that's
all
what
those
that
fears.
does.
All those fears when I've done it in the past, like I haven't done it in like 10, 11 years, something like that.
No, weren't you doing it recently? Weren't you getting mushrooms and doing it microdosing?
Microdosing is not really the same though.
Okay.
It's not like this, you know? This was really intense, but like just full of joy. And maybe it was who I was with. And we were in a perfect bubble of like environment, you know? There's no one else to interrupt us. It was really just fantastic.
Sometimes the scariest thing is sometimes like the problems that like weed or the anxiety that like weed brings up is actually things you need to work on.
I know.
And that's sometimes scary because it's like there's an honesty that something is that like, you know, you're trying to show yourself and you're afraid of that.
With weed, I'm more susceptible again to a thought loop pattern where I'm like fixated on an idea and I get a little bit like anxious about it. But with mushrooms, I was able to like have some of those ideas and let them wash over me and accept them in a way different way. And I honestly want to do it again, like soon, like before the fall's up, you know? And this time eat them,
That's
so that's
nice.
like a longer process, because then it just became chilling out. I just felt like I just shed everything, like all of my responsibilities. I was just walking around the campfire with no shirt, lounging on a hammock, and we were playing Ed Grimley on a projector on the side of the caboose.
This sounds like you when you're not high as well.
I know, but it felt
That's all
really good
you.
this time. I
That's
know.
what you do.
Yeah,
Yeah, but the Ed Grimley, the
remember that?
yeah, the I do believe what you said about like the tree speaking to you,
Yeah.
especially like because you described it in a way that wasn't like "Hello, Joe," you know,
No, yeah, it was just like
the,
vibing at me.
right. And I think like even like having a dog, like I talk to this dog constantly, but we don't speak the same language.
Right.
But like you just have to like notice it and you pick up on the things. And you've always been good with that with like cats and dogs and stuff. You kind of like you watch them and listen to them.
Yeah, they're always trying to tell you something. And also being on the mushrooms, I felt like very I think more aware of how like I'm in a pretty good place right now. How happy I am with my relationship, with my cat, with my job, the apartment. Like everything was just feeling like in a good place, and it
Yeah.
really enhanced that,
Hmm.
So I don't know, it was great, really really nice.
That's nice, man. I'm afraid of it.
I know.
I
I was
know
afraid of
why.
it too, man. I was afraid of doing it, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna do it, and then I couldn't stop eating them for the rest of the night. I was like, give me more. I was like trying to chase that peak again, and I couldn't get it. I know, it's
Really?
weird. Yeah, but the way mushrooms work is that it's sort of like diminishing returns. You develop a tolerance quickly. So if you don't take a lot at first, then you can't quite hit that again.
And then you got to wait a few days.
You can't really re-up it in the same way you could with weed or like with alcohol. So, that was kind of like, but it was still nice. I was still just, the rest of the day was just like an afterglow after like 2 hours of peaking.
I wonder what would have happened if I gave my grandma mushrooms like like a week or two ago.
I don't know. It's hard to say. I do think that on its own, it's pretty positive.
I mean,
She might have been bugged out by her environment.
The last couple of days, she had some morphine and stuff because we started like hospice.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, if we're just giving her stuff,
Why
why is it approved that morphine's the way to go?
It's hard to say. I don't know how, because a big part of mushrooms is being able to like transfer environments. Like if you're not feeling good in one room, go to another room, change the music, change the lighting, like all that kind of stuff. And if you're kind of trapped in a bed, it's possible you'll feel like, anxious.
I guess so, but you might not be able to. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think I would.
When did you?
I don't know when.
You did them like in a chocolate or something on New Year's.
Yeah, New Year's.
And what did it feel like for you?
2 years ago, felt cool. I felt like being a kid. I felt like I was hanging out with Lisa, who was a child. Like we were like our child,
exploring things together. Yeah.
Yeah, and we were looking at stars. We were in Puerto Rico. We were with family. We were.
Yeah, it was like, a nice, safe, fun environment. It forges new neural connections in your brain, and that's why you feel like a kid again. You're almost like you're exploring, and everything has like a new meaning to it, but it's not the weed profound meaning, Allie just rolled her eyes at me real hard.
I felt them. I felt them from here. I didn't realize that. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because there is this young thing of like when you're young, you're making these connections, and it's I get that. That's why it feels like that. Wow.
And as you grow, you're building up walls to like assimilate into society, which is a good thing. It's not a bad thing, but you need to stay in touch with the other thing too. And
which thing?
That childhood, that wonder, and that in touchness with nature that this modern society is like. It's almost like this is all witchcraft, like that was what they did through religion, and then now through society it's it's illegal and everything. But it's like it couldn't be more natural, how we're taking pills and like drinking alcohols, that's all pretty unnatural, but that's like sanctioned.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
This stuff is like human beings, Homo sapiens, have been doing this for centuries. It's like it's what forged new pathways in society, in our brains. It's part of rituals that we've had forever. I don't see what the big problem is, except for your own fears of doing it. Now she's laughing at me.
I know. I'm with you 100% there. It's weird.
I know it sounds crazy. I get it. Sounds crazy, but
I wonder why there's this stigma with it, huh?
I don't know.
Because alcohol has killed so many people.
It's ruined families. Yeah.
Yeah. It's killed, and it's continues to
financial ruin, gambling
every second of every day.
Yeah, it's all that stuff is so bad, and it's like okay because the corporations can't get their fingers in mushrooms. You can't really like. They haven't found a way to make money on it yet, so fuck it. With weed, they found a way to make money on it, so it's like being brought in.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Does it make you like? Because sometimes, like I think when I was smoking more weed, I didn't want to drink. Does it make you now?
Well, I didn't want to smoke weed on this. I kind of kept it isolated. I'm glad I did. I had a little spliff at the end of the night, and I was like, oh yeah, this is why I didn't want to combine them. Like I should have just stayed on that afterglow, because I got a little thinky, you know. But we were drinking very mildly. We didn't bring any like hard liquor, just beer and some wine. And the wine really hit the spot. It was very like relaxing. I even liked Primus. I couldn't believe how much Chris put Primus on, which he loves, and honestly, it was great. Really hit the spot.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Jammy.
Yeah.
Noises.
Very tactile. Yeah.
Sounds. You follow like a thread for a little while.
There was only one harrowing moment, and that was Chris Vert found some kind of crevasse or precipice somewhere. Like it was like carved out in between these two rocks. It was incredible. We were like on a movie set. And he found it. He was like, guys, he started doing this voice. I fell in the garage. And I thought that like he broke his jaw. Like I thought he fell and like cracked his face open. And he was just fucking with us and doing a voice. But you know, I was like really bought it. And like I was like, oh, this day is about to take a turn.
Wow.
But it was
That's
just
scary. I got scared for you.
Yeah. And he knew what he was doing. And then, you know, when it got like pitch black out, we were like walking into the woods, into the darkness. There was like a solar farm on the place. This whole place is like done on solar renewable energy. And we found the solar garden where there were these big panels. There was like an abandoned barn with a bunch of old horse gear. It felt like out of a horror movie, but we weren't afraid of it. It was great. It was just like the perfect set of environments. And I want to go back so bad. He actually
seems like a weird place for mushrooms, because I feel like light and shapes and colors and stuff would be better.
Well, your pupils get really big on mushrooms, so in theory, you should be able to see better in the dark. But I had a hard time. It was all very fuzzy. I took off my clothes and ran naked down the street.
Really?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
To
there was
be
no
funny?
one around. No, just to feel free. It was great.
You always get this way.
I always find a way to do it.
Love nudity.
It's freeing. I don't know. What's
down
the
in
big
your
deal?
core.
I mean, it's not exhibitionism. It's just nice to be free.
Right. I'm not
Like it was pitch black.
I'm not judging it. I'm
There's
just
no
saying.
one around. Yeah.
It's just very funny that you do like to be. You find clothing, like, you know.
I found clothing to be a hindrance.
Right. Get me out of this prison.
Yeah, exactly. That's me.
How was the weather?
Perf. It was funny. Chris was like, "Oh, it's gonna be real cold. Make sure you bring your winter coats and your knit hats and everything." And it was like 70 degrees and kind of humid. Like I like way like heat packed, you know. So I wish I'd brought shorts and stuff, but it was fine.
Yeah, you were naked.
Well, later on, yeah.
Did you have shoes on?
Yeah. I had these
You were
like
naked.
Well, I'm not an asshole. I went running. Chris was like, "Go running, go run straight that." And he's like, "All right, I'm gonna do it, but I don't think I need to wear clothes for this." So I took my clothes off and just ran into the darkness.
Very funny.
And then we realized later that there were some security cameras nearby. So like, if he happens to check it, he's gonna see something really weird.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny.
I definitely
Were you laughing? You guys laughing a lot too?
Oh, yeah, it was just giggles.
You get the giggles? Did you get the giggles?
Oh yeah. Just
Did that go away? There's an uncontrollable giggle part, right?
Yes, because you're just like being goofy, but it's also like there's still like Joe put it this way: there's like always going to be a little engineer in your head that's still you, that's like behind all the machinery, and like the controls are getting weird and like the screens are kind of getting funny, but you're still in there. So like I was still cracking Joe and Bergio jokes, but also everything was insane going around me. Does that make sense? You're still you. You know?
Yeah, that's
it's
funny.
just funny. It's just funny stuff.
Wow.
And it was the right people. I was like, Chris brings such a joy to everything that it was like it was contagious, you know?
Yeah, he's a silly boy.
That contagious emotion.
Wow.
And I was making fun of him. He's like, "We got to get a fruit platter, guys." I was making fun of him. I was like, "We don't need a fruit platter." And you know what? I am so glad we got a fruit platter. It was really hit the spot.
I bet.
Everyone kind of brought their own little touch to it.
Wait, what was a fruit platter? You bought like
He
one
bought
of
one
those
at
ones?
Belle Fury in Staten Island, and we drove it 3 hours north. But it was great. It was just funny.
Really funny.
And I was busting his balls. I was like, he wanted to get ice. I was like, we should get the ice up there so it's fresh. Just to drive him a little crazy, and it really did. It worked because there's no such thing as fresh ice. It's ice. Ice is ice.
That's so fun. But did he believe it?
No, he was so mad. But he refused to respond to me. The planning with Chris can be very challenging. He's a very difficult guy to plan with, but once he's there and he's cut loose, you're gonna have a good time.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun trip. Oh. Yeah, it's funny. It's tough not to think about death when you like lose someone.
I know, man.
So I guess there's a part of you that's like, oh, I want to do these things all the time.
You really have to pick the right time in your life when things are like, settled for a moment.
Or you just always make more time for it.
Plus, we're all at different, stages in our lives, and it felt like momentous. I'm getting married soon. Some people are having kids soon. It just felt like a time to like do this.
Well, you had a big adventure, and I've been using my Apple Watch again.
That's good.
And I've been trying to get those rings closed.
What does that mean?
It means like when you count your steps and stuff.
Oh, okay.
I realized like I go for a walk constantly now with Granny, and I'm like walking all around Brooklyn and like exercising her and like just walking around for fun. And I was like, oh, I want to see like how many steps I do a day. And it's been great. I'm like between like 14 and 18,000 steps a day.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah.
And it's accurate?
I think so. I have it on my phone and on the watch. And so they both have, and they're both pretty similar.
On the tires of my car.
Yeah. The problem is today, it's like, it was really wrong. Like I went skateboarding with her, and look at this.
So it must measure distance.
Yeah. So it said like, sometimes I walk a long way. They're like, you've exercised for 30 minutes. And I'm like, I wouldn't call it exercise, but I'll take it. But today I was like really like hoofing it on the skateboard. And then when I looked at it, it was like 2 minutes.
It's like positive reinforcement, like it feels good. It's calling it exercise, but like,
yeah,
I played Final Fantasy 7 all day yesterday. I wish that I lost some calories in doing so.
You might have. I was playing drums and it like was like, wow, you did so much exercise.
That's good.
And I was just like playing like little electric drums.
Nice.
Because I think it's like the more you move this, the whole thing. That's my drug. Fitness is my drug.
Drug.
I knew I gained a little LB, so I'm trying to think about it a little bit more.
Right.
It's tough because the other part of it is like we were talking to my mom because my grandfather had lost 2 brothers, one of them young to alcohol, and like a bunch of people in our family have died of like cirrhosis of the liver.
Oh.
And so we were like, how much did they drink? Me and my brother are there. And she's just like, yeah, I guess they just drank a lot. And we were like, yeah, but how much?
Right. Just concerned about like your own.
And we kept being like, yeah, but how much did they drink? And we never got a straight answer. I don't think she knows, but
no, there's like waking up and like topping off a cheap bottle of vodka.
I think so. But
that's that level of cirrhosis.
But this quarantine has made me be like 1 a night.
I know, man. It's hard. There's no reason not to. You're not driving anywhere.
Right.
You get pretty good at making cocktails.
And it's like dessert. Like I don't eat dessert. So I'm like, I'll have a cocktail.
My mouth waters when I think about a cocktail sometimes.
I know.
Because they're so good.
They rule. Life is too short. And make it shorter.
Exactly.
Life is too short. Make it shorter. Oh, man. Alive.
Well.
What else?
How's your break then? So we're off this one more week and then back to work.
It was good.
Back to the rat race.
There was a lot of the grandma stuff.
Do you regret naming your dog Granny?
No. I think it's even better than ever.
Good. Less people to take the name.
Yeah. It's nice having the dog. It's really like a person I love.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's turned a corner in terms of like being a little bit more snuggly.
That's good.
And like, she's just really sweet and funny.
Do you give her cheese every time she snuggles?
I do give her cheese now, not for snuggles, but whenever she touches my hand.
Oh, like
we,
give me
we
paw.
say like touch,
Yeah.
she's here. I don't want her to wake up. But when that happens, that's how we like call her over from like at a dog park or something. Dog parks are fun. Drama.
Oh yeah. Any trouble?
She was playing with this one dog, and then the dog like yelped at one point, which is what dogs do. And the woman kept like trying to separate them, and that
Mhm.
just made Granny want to like play with that dog more.
Mhm.
So I was just like,
So you had to
all
kill
right.
her.
And
You
I
had to
just
kill this woman.
put down the other person's dog. No,
Right.
I took Granny and I just like left the dog park because I was like, she's gonna keep doing. I didn't like give her shit or anything, but like I was like, you're in trouble if you're gonna break up every time like two
Yeah.
dogs.
Yeah. What's the big deal? Granny's
They
not
were
a threatening dog.
not at all. There were two other like golden retriever, like young, like a 6-month-old and 5-month-old, which is what Granny's like 5, and they were like really just like knocking each other around and stuff. And I wanted her to just keep playing with them, but then that dog kept jumping in, and then like the woman was like separating them, and I was like, ugh, she's ruining the fun.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been fun. I look back at the thing I said to Lisa today was like, I wish I knew that she'd only be like a really small puppy for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I
She's
mean, not
actually
that I would
still-
change
she's
anything.
Kind of
It's
small
just,
though. Yeah.
yeah, she's small, but
Good size.
she was like a real small puppy. Like
Aw.
she was really small.
She's got your chest hair.
I know, but it's white, which I need mine to be.
Yeah.
See?
That's great. Oh. Good for you.
Anyway, so that's it. Oh, I like having a dog. Officially,
It's good. Oh, you were still on the fence?
no.
I like having a cat. He's trouble, but I like him.
Went to Rule of Thirds last night for dinner.
How was it?
Great. It's unbelievable. It's like a Japanese place.
We were looking at it for our wedding. I
Right.
heard it was okay. So really, it's good.
What do you mean? Who'd you hear it's okay from?
I heard it was okay
From who?
from someone.
You can't say?
I'm choosing not to say.
There's a person I know?
Yeah.
Interesting. It's fantastic.
Really? Okay.
Fantastic.
All right. So I'll try it.
I would say
What
like
do you recommend? Some kind of katsu?
honestly, they have so much, but like we got these skewers, and I got like a chicken meatball skewer that was good. The mussel skewer, incredible. But the
You
best
also
one,
know the owners. Did you get some free food?
they did send stuff out, but I'm not sure. I didn't say that
That
I
doesn't
was there.
That doesn't color your perception of the place.
What?
Like feeling like, oh, these people like treat us good here, and I like it even more. The food tastes that much better now.
I don't know. I mean,
Go in disguise next time.
he wasn't there. The owner wasn't there.
Okay.
But no, I don't think so. I mean, like I have a lot of friends that own restaurants. I mean, like,
That's
you
true.
know,
That's true.
like,
And I
I'm not-
like all their restaurants a lot. That's the problem.
I do like them all.
Why is it that we know so many good restaurateurs?
Yeah. I mean, like I love Marie's, but this is better than Marie's.
Right. Marie's
Right,
is like upper level diner in a way.
Yeah. And it's great.
Yeah.
No shade on Marie's.
High end diner.
Like Flower and Oak is like really, really good
Mhm.
as well. We just
Yeah.
had some of that lately. That was really good. But so Rule of Thirds, and we got the best skewers were the red okra skewers. Those were really good. The fried chicken is dope. I didn't get it this time, but they give you this miso soup. It's almond miso soup, and they recommend you get it at the end of the meal. And it was a good idea.
Okay. I like that when they're like,
Like-
this soup here is a night soup.
Yeah, it's like a nightcap, and
Yeah.
it's like it's really hearty and nice right at the end of your meal. It's like
Okay.
refreshing, but like filling.
Yeah, maybe I'll try it. Maybe I'll cross the line and try it.
Yeah, I'm excited to, as soon as we stop, to hear who that person is.
Yeah.
Right? Because you'll tell me then.
Do you want to stop then so I can tell you?
Well, you could just. I mean, is it why can't you say that? Why can't you put them on blast?
Only because it's bothering you so much.
Oh,
It's one of those.
I can't say it's bothering me. It's more so I'm curious.
Who do you think it is? Who would it be?
I don't know.
Who could it be?
Should I just say names?
Yeah.
Eric Lederman?
Yeah.
It's him?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay.
It's okay. I'm not going to edit his name out or anything.
That's fine.
But yeah, that's good. That makes
We
sense.
definitely we just drop full names on this podcast. It's very funny.
Are you not supposed to do that with a
Probably not.
podcast? Why not?
Probably not. I don't know.
It'd be different if you were like,
Invasive.
this guy from high school was a fucking dick, and his name is this.
I think you've done that too, though. I feel like we have.
No. I definitely would take names out.
Okay.
If it was somebody like bad,
Like who? Give a name.
Eric Lederman.
Okay.
But yeah, otherwise, I think it's okay to say. I mean, it's also different. I mean, you full on said that Christopher Ramo does mushrooms this weekend.
I mean, that's all hearsay. It could be a different Chris Vert.
Exactly.
I didn't say his full name. I didn't say
This
his
whole
full name.
podcast is scripted hearsay. None of the names are real. It's a script that we were going on. We're reading a script that someone else wrote.
And it says here at the last page of the script too, if you want to join the Telegram, just email jvsquadcast@gmail.com.
Did you write anything down?
No, this is just a pitch perfect episode. That's why.
Uh-huh. And on that, why ruin it?
Mm-hmm.
Let's end it now.